Okay, so let's say, for example, Jill is going to launch a model rocket. We'll clean up that a little bit. In her backyard. Say the function, say h of t is equal to negative 16t squared plus 32t, models the height, which is your h, of the rocket, above the ground as a function of time t. Okay. So you want to find the time that the rocket will be 16 feet off the ground. Okay, so we know that this formula gives us our height. Okay, so we know that the height is 16 feet when h of t is equal to 16. Okay, that just pretty much gives us our height. Okay, so that means you have 16 equals negative 16t squared. Oh, clean that up a little bit. Plus 32t. Nope. That's okay. So now we want to get everything to one side and make it equal to 0. Okay, so we can go ahead and add 16t squared to both sides. And we can subtract 32t from both sides. So we know those two will end up just disappearing. Okay, so we have 16t squared minus 32t plus 16 equals 0. Okay, so we just pulled everything to one side. Okay, so luckily with this one we can factor a 16 out of each term, so we don't have to worry about 16 times 16 and all that other stuff. Okay, so if you factor out a 16, 16 times t squared would give you 16t squared. 16 times negative 2t would give you negative 32t. And 16 times 1 would give you positive 16, which equals 0. Okay. So since we just factored out a number and didn't factor out a variable with it, we divide both sides by 16, we can get rid of that one. Okay, so those two cancel out. So we end up with t squared minus 2t plus 1. 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. Okay, so that means since you don't have anything in front of the t squared, we don't have to worry about the a times c method. We just have to find two numbers that multiply to equal your c. We'll bring that up a little bit. And those same two numbers have to add to equal your b. Okay. So in this case, it's -1 and -1. Looks like it works. -1 times -1 is +1. -1 plus -1 is -2. All right. So we can just rewrite this as t minus 1 times t minus 1 equals 0. Since they're the same, you don't have to write them both down, but I'll do it anyway just out of pure habit. Okay. T minus 1 equals 0, or t minus 1 equals 0. Add 1 to both sides. For both of these, t is equal to 1. Okay. So we know that as soon as she fires off the rocket, after 1 second, it's 16 feet in the air. After t equals 1 second. All right, any questions on that one? All right, if there are no questions, you're all done. If you have questions, feel free to hang around.